Welcome back to the channel. Pull up a chair. Take a seat here at the table. Let me tell you a story. A long time ago, in a galaxy nearby, my story begins. I'm the nerdy kid in high school. I'm the one who's struggling through, but one really good thing came out of it, and that's my beautiful wife. She stuck with me all these years. In fact, we were just now hitting our 30-year anniversary together. That story, starting from a lack of confidence, starting with nothing, really. When she and I started, we had nothing. We had $400 and our rent was due. So we're starting ground zero. College debt, just like so many of you. A car payment, again, like so many of us. That was our starting point. And once we got our college degrees, running out of money in the process, of course, we pursued work in corporate America. We did what we were told. Go to school, get a good job, try to get ahead. This is the American dream. And it turns out it did work. I have an engineering degree and my wife, journalist degree. It's not enough though, is it? To get the degrees and go to work and spend your life in cubicles every day, it doesn't necessarily get us ahead. And so what we found is years later, after the kids had come and after the newspapers had kind of dried up and we were struggling on one income, we had to do something different. And so while we had followed the script that was laid out for us and the advice that we had been given for years, we figured out that it was time to do something a little different. What came next, as we approached age 40, would be where things changed. You see, I would come out of cubicle world, the windowless office that I was working in, and I would start interacting with my customer base from the company I was working at. At the same time, we'd realize that all the net worth that we had acquired over the years was not going to get us to retirement. There's no way. We have to do something more. And so there were two really key things that happened here. As we had our two kids and we were trying to be really good parents along the way and remain involved in our community and our church and everything else, we had to make some changes. And so two things happened. One, I decided to get out of my shell. Now, as an introvert, you know how hard that is. If you're like me, it is not easy to get out of your shell. But I decided to make the leap and I began presenting to customers. And you know what? They could relate to me. It turned out to be okay. It turned out to be a great step. And that changed my career trajectory back in about 2010. So 15 years of that now at the time of this recording. That trajectory changed how I looked at life. It allowed me to go from, I'm not sure about that, let me stick with what I know, into, I'll figure that out and get back to you. That little switch of accepting challenge in a public way really changed our trajectory, and it allowed me to unlock much more income potential over the years. And it put me on stages. A few years later, in the last couple of years, I've been on stage a lot. I've traveled a lot globally. It's great, but it all wears you down. Now, the other part of this story is where we went together, my wife, myself, our kids. We all decided that we're going to jump into real estate. Now, I'll admit, it's my idea. 2012, I started the research. 2014, we jumped in and said, let's try a rental property and we'll rehab it and rent it out. Sounds great. Easy to read about in all the books. Not so easy in practice. And so what we ended up doing is buying a house, a cheap house, with an inheritance. You see, part of this is how to honor the legacy of those who have gone before you. And so we decided we would not only try to help ourselves, but we'd also try to honor that legacy by multiplying the money that we had inherited. Now, it was $27,000. This is not life-changing money, but it was good. We put it to work, and we were successful. So we did it again the next year, and again the next year, and again twice 2 years later. We've now done 9 houses like that. We've provided housing for multiple people, and it's been great. It's been purposeful. It's allowed us to meet some wonderful people. At the same time, it's provided a lot of boost to the net wealth that we have. And so if you look at what we've done between the career and the house, it allowed us to start focusing in a new way on where we wanted to live. Now, with events of the last few years, it gave us more flexibility in the world of remote work to do more dreaming. And so we ended up here at the lake. We had been buying some properties in the area to do rentals and eventually figured out, wait, we really like it here. Let's move. And so 5 years ago, we did just that. We moved here, and our backyard is a lake, and we love it. That's the name of the channel, Lake-Wise Life. Where we go from here is all the things along the way that helped us get to where I'm sitting today. It's the things like comparison. What can you DIY? What's your value? How did we budget? What were the things that made a difference? How did we get into the real estate game? But it's more than just money. It's about lifestyle. It's about relationship. It's about not being tied to a cubicle all day. And so while that has to be part of our journey, a lot of times it doesn't have to be our story. So join us as we go forward from here. Each episode will be a unique component of our story. We'll talk about what made a difference in our lives and whether or not it still works. I can't wait to share some of this with you. See you next time.